Memoir of a Snail is about two twins that are born. The one twin, a young girl named Grace Puddle, and her uh, her brother are born as twins. Sorry, I got to get the names right here. Grace Puddle, voiced by Sarah Snook. Grace was born with a cleft palate that is repaired, and she looks like a rabbit. So she is teased in school. Her brother helps her. This movie is a story that is so tragic, so depressing, while being all of these things, these sad stories, contrasted against things that are life affirming and just funny. It is rated R. This is a stop motion animated movie that is at once delightful, tragic, um, heartbreaking, and hilarious. And there's even, believe it or not, nudity and sex as Grace and her brother, their father passes away, and they are both adopted by other families. The family that her brother is adopted by are religious fanatics. Grace is adopted by a couple of people who are swingers, who are basically barely home. She kind of plods through life being dealt a bad hand, starting with her cleft palate, which is repaired. And she has an affection for snails because they move through life slowly, but nothing stops them. So she collects things with snails. She finally ends up losing her virginity and gets married. That's short lived. And it really is a series of unbelievable, both bittersweet and funny stories, all played out in stop motion. And then centering on this, her favorite snail, Sylvia, that she's friends with. She also collects things that are snail-like, because snail rings, snail tchotchkes, and ends up becoming a hoarder. I could go into what a lot of these stories are. Really doesn't. I mean, you need to experience them for yourself. But by the end of this movie, this is so sad. It redeems itself with this incredibly life affirming, sweet, tug at your heartstrings. You might end up bring tissues. You might end up crying by the end. Let me just say, I was very moved. And I always love when a film that's animated, you're watching this and you're so moved by the events. I thought it was awesome. I interviewed the director. The style of the movie, it's not black and white, but the colors are beige. It's
sepia
muted.
tone.
Yeah, sepia tone, all of that. And I love stop motion. They worked on this movie for 5 years, and the director told me that the story is based on a person he knows who was always dealt a bad hand in life, but no matter what happened, she persevered. And that's what the message of this movie is, whatever life hands you, the worst, most tragic things, just keeping on. Keeping on like a snail. And it's so endearing. It also reminds me, this animation isn't sweet. I mean, you see naked people at an orgy. I'm not joking, right? Now it's done playfully. It's not graphic. Okay.
It's for art's sake, yeah.
It's yeah, but it's like, it reminds me of the animation from like people like the Brothers Quay. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but and Nick Cave does a voice in it, which I love. But God, it's like one of those, like, by the end, I'm sitting here, the audience I was with clapped, because I did watch a screener of it, but I'm like, I want to see this on the big screen. And completely different. So great to see like the stop motion on the big screen. You can see, and everything is all handmade. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of stop motion now is augmented by CG. This is handmade. Very little CG was used to, a lot of it's used to erase things, that are holding models in place.
Yeah, the wires and
stuff like that. But I truly was drawn in. It's 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm in the camp of loving it. And the director, Adam Elliott, also did a movie years ago called Mary and Max. Some of you may remember from 2009. He has a really distinct style. He's an Australian filmmaker. And if you love and appreciate stop motion, this is for you. I mean, for me, it's like 8 out of 10 easily. And it's also 90 minutes. Wow, perfect running time. I think too many movies we see overstay their welcome. They just do. They overstay the welcome. The north of 2 hours. You better have a real reason for why a movie is north of 2 hours.
Yeah. But then there is a reason why stop motion animation is 90 minutes.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
It's hard to do. So we get into it. Watch the interview on the interview channel where I talk to Adam. Strong recommend. Delightful. I don't think it's for kids. I know it's R-rated, but you could probably take someone 15, 16 to see it. But I wouldn't recommend like single digit age at all. No one under 10 at all. But 15, 16 could handle it.
Yeah, great way to introduce your kids to orgies.
Yeah, I mean it's played fun, right? Okay. It's not you see stuff, but it's in stop motion. You see boobs. You see stop motion boobs.
Yeah, that makes it all better. That makes it all right. Okay.
But I like this. Not everything animated should be for kids. I like more adult animation. And by adult, I don't mean pornography. I mean like adult themes. Mm-hmm. And just you see her brother. There's a great story with the brother, the way the brother-sister story plays out. Again, I'm not going to ruin anything, but they have a relationship. They're in separate families, trying to keep in communication. The brother, again, is persevering in his own way. So, God, I really like just having a sister myself. When anyone ever would challenge my sister, I mean, them's fighting words, and the brother in this is equally like stands up for his sister. I always admire that. So, really loved it. Just sweet. And God, I mean, so much. And the whole running theme with the snails, which pays off in the end, is just so beautiful. It's one of those where you're thinking about your life. And, I mean, this is warts and all, right? Lots of bad things happen in this movie, but the way that the story is told, you're able to look at it and laugh in the end. Well, maybe laughing through tears. So strong recommendation for this movie. I would say one of my favorite animated movies of the year, and I hope this gets an Oscar nom.